Hello everyone, welcome to my class. My name is Pooja Devedi and today I'm going to tell you something very shocking. A shocking incident has taken place in a temple of Gujarat where during renovation, tiger skin, tiger claws and tiger teeth were found, and the temple authorities were extremely shocked because this was for the first time ever when they actually saw something like this. That means a wildlife contraband was there, and now the question arises, who is after it? And recently forensic reports are awaited, and tigers are extremely important for India because they are not only a flagship species, they are also our national animal. So that is why we have to understand how deep the nexus goes through when it comes to wildlife trafficking. So let's talk about this particular section in detail, step by step. So this is the picture from the Rajpipla temple in Gujarat, where you can see 40 tiger skin have been retrieved. And this particular thing which is very interesting is that the temple authorities also did not know, because they were the ones who informed the police. So that is why this is very intriguing. And during renovation, when certain sealed doors were opened, in a box plus in a sheet, in a bed sheet, these skins were put together and they were wrapped. So something very concerning has arisen. You can see claws and teeth have also been retrieved from this. There must be a wildlife trafficking network that is running deep in Gujarat, and that is why it is important for us to know about it. So talking about this incident, which is pretty intriguing and shocking, 40 suspected tiger skin and over 100 claws were found hidden inside a temple. Bundles wrapped in cloths were concealed in hidden spaces within the building, which were discovered when workers dismantled the sealed areas. Forest Department and local police seized the materials for investigation, and preliminary assessment has suggested that the tigers and that the items do belong to tigers, which are a Schedule 1 Wildlife Protection Act 1972 species. That means any hurt caused to them, it attracts the highest level of punishment. The highest level of security is given to such animals which are provided for in the Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. So this is awaited. Apart from that, forensic reports are awaited, which will tell us how long the contraband was stored in the temple, who was responsible for hiding it, possible links to a larger wildlife trafficking network. Local residents were also shocked because the temple was a public religious space, and something like this, if it is hidden, it is pretty demeaning. Apart from that, talking about tigers are our national animal. First of all, we have to understand it. National animal they are. Okay. They are also a flagship species. They are also an indicator species. They are also a keystone species. They are also an umbrella species. That means flagship means they are the brand ambassador of any country, any area. Those kind of species are known as flagship species. So being a brand ambassador is something that needs to get you protected. Indicator, it indicates about the health of an ecosystem. Health of an ecosystem. Apart from that, keystone species that is needed to keep an ecosystem working. Needed to keep an ecosystem working. And finally, we have umbrella species. Umbrella species means if we are going to protect this one species, other species which are related to it can also get saved. If we have to protect tigers, we have to protect the habitats of tigers. And in the habitats of tigers, not only tigers live, but also other small and large animals live. So that is why, in order to protect any other species, if you're protecting one species which is causing all the other species to be conserved, that species is an umbrella species from a conservation point of view. Conservation point of view. Now, they are declared the national animal of India. We have already known that. Especially if we talk about India. In India, tigers are actually 75% of the entire world. That means, supposedly there are 100 tigers in the world. Out of them, 75 exist in India. Specifically in other countries, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, China and Myanmar. and they are the largest population which are found in India, which makes them pretty interesting, especially after the launch of the Project Tiger in 1973. When we launched the Project Tiger in 1973 on the 1st of April, we made it sure that we are going to ensure that the evolution of tigers remains safe in India. Tigers were hunted for their skin, for their claws since a very long period of time because they are a trophy. In India, after independence, this was ensured that we are not going to allow any species to be hunted for being a trophy. And somebody who kills tiger used to tell us that they are very brave, which is completely the opposite. They are coward. It's a cowardly act. It's an uncivilized act. Even today, if somebody is doing that, it's an uncivilized act. So now the largest population has been found in India. Even after we talk about 1973, the kind of improvement India showed, that was amazing. Distribution in India moves towards the high mountains, mangrove swamps, especially the Royal Bengal tiger, which are extremely dangerous in nature. They also live in tall grasslands, in dry, moist, deciduous forest, in evergreen forest, and also in shola forest. So they are prominent species in India. Talking about tigers, if you look at them, they have white spots behind the ears, and this is just a natural tactic. The nature has made them so. Even if there is a prey behind tiger, it can see those spots, and they get bright at night, so that the prey knows that there is a tiger here and they can disappear from there. Tigers squint their eyes to show happiness and comfort. When they are wide open, they are not comfortable, they are not happy. But when they squint, it's like they are showing happiness. Tigers imitate the call of other animals, as in if they want to hunt any other animal, they will call them in the manner the prey says, because in order to attract them, they have to become comfortable. The stripes are very individual features. Every tiger has a different stripe. Now, like our thumbprints, every person has a different thumbprint. Similarly, all the tigers also have a different stripe system. Talking about the tiger count, tiger survey takes place every 4 years. Okay, remember that. Tiger survey takes place every 4 years. So last time when it took place, it was in 2022. The next tiger survey is scheduled in this year itself. The data for this will be provided in 2025 and 2026 both. The data will be provided in 2027. For 2022, we got the data between 2018 to 2022. Okay, so like that. So in 2018, where the tiger population was 2,967. This year, beg your pardon, the last year in 2022, the last survey year was 3,682. Now in 2022, Madhya Pradesh showed the highest amount of tigers in their reserve. Next is Karnataka. In Karnataka, we had the second highest population of tigers. Next was Uttarakhand, 5 with 560. Next was Maharashtra with 444. And the other one was Tamil Nadu. So these are the top 5 states. The reserves in 2022, I am giving you the official data of 2022. This can change in the upcoming days. So apart from that, reserves with highest tiger population in it was in Uttarakhand, Jharkhand, beg your pardon, Uttarakhand, Jim Corbett. Second was Bandipur and Karnataka. Third was in Nagarhole, Karnataka. Next, Bandhavgarh, MP. And then in UP, we had Dudhwa. All right. Tigers are increasing. Their numbers are increasing. In 2006, they were just 1411. Now they are risen to 2000. In fact, in many areas, in many data, we are seeing that the tiger population has increased above 3000 as well in India. Certain data is not very official in nature. So surveys will occur, and because of these surveys only, we will come to know what is the status of tiger. What is the significance of tiger? I have already told you they are a flagship species. They are also an umbrella species. They promote ecotourism and support allied livelihood. What is allied livelihood? Ecotourism will give boost to hospitality sector as well. In in hospitality sector, you have hotels, you have tourist guides, you have other areas which can be an allied sector to the main tiger ecotourism, sports, etc. So these also grow together. There is also cultural and spiritual powers, symbol of power, strength, courage in Indian tradition is always shown by tigers. So that is why they are very important. They are solitary and territorial animals. This is something that UPSC asks very often regarding the behavior of animals. So they like to live alone, and they are territorial in nature. They are very aware and conscious about their place of living. That is why we see whenever another tiger goes into their territory, they become very aggressive in nature and they will aggressively fight for their territory. The adult male territory may overlap with 2-7 female territories. That can happen. Stripe patterns are unique, like our fingerprints, and they're excellent swimmers, unlike most other big cats. Specifically, if you see the Sundarban tigers, they are also excellent swimmers. Project Tiger was launched on 1st of April 1973. This type of scheme is a centrally sponsored scheme. Centrally sponsored scheme means that the funding is divided between the center and the state. Okay, centrally sponsored scheme. A central sector scheme is the one in which 100% funding has to be done by the state, the union government. The ministry that is responsible for it is the Ministry of Forest, Environment, Forest and Climate Change. The objectives is to ensure that there is a viable tiger population in India. That means we have to ensure that they are conserved, their habitats are conserved, they are also kept in healthy spaces. Tiger conservation, maintenance of prey base. If there will be no prey, how will tigers survive? Overall ecosystem stability has to be maintained. Apart from that, the initial coverage of Project Tiger was 9. Now, if we talk about the current tiger reserves in India, there are 58 tiger reserves right now. 58 tiger reserves as of now. Okay. National Tiger Conservation Authority, which is actually a statutory body. Statutory body, that means it came under a statute. Which statute it is? It is a Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 body. Okay, so under it only the National Tiger Conservation Authority was made. It was established in 2005 on the recommendation of Tiger Task Force, and it was given a statutory status in 2006 through the amendment of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. This is the responsible body for ensuring that tigers stay at a viable population in India. The tiger reserves are maintained properly. There are no ecological damage to be done there. Not only for tigers, but also for other big cats. This is a responsible body for them. All right, moving on, talking about the funding pattern. The funding pattern is non-recurring items. 60% funding has to be done by central assistance. Recurring items 50%. For northeastern Himalayan states, 90% will be going from the center and 10% from the other regions which are mentioned here. All right. Moving ahead to the other possible strategy which are used for the strategy which is used in protecting tigers. If we are seeing tiger reserves anywhere, they are going through certain process. Like if any area is declared as a tiger reserve, there are two areas. First is the core area. Core area is the area which has the highest population of tigers. It has the highest population of tigers, and this has to be maintained, this has to be kept untouched. No human interference should be there. And the other area which surrounds it is the buffer zone. The other one is the buffer zone. The buffer zone is actually the zone where you will find a transitional area. Their tiger sightings can be there, tourism can take place, hospitality can take place, certain amount of agricultural activities can take place, but the core area has to be remaining completely untouched. Buffer area is a mix of forest and non-forest land, managed at multi-purpose use areas. All right. Moving ahead, talking about the technologies. If we are counting tigers, we are doing surveys of tigers. What are the technologies used? eBird project. The use of drones for surveillance and monitoring. M-Stripes app, which monitors the stripe patterns of different tigers and registers them as individuals. Earlier, pug marks were used to be, pug marks used to be something that we had to register. Now, pug marks are also included and M-Stripes are also included, because pug marks can be very, we can call it vague in nature. That is why counting pug marks and registering pug marks were not very reliable. Right now, we are doing M-Stripes and eBird project. Special Tiger Protection Force is deployed for anti-poaching operation. But still, we are seeing that poachers are getting hold of them. Moving on, consider the following statements regarding tiger characteristics. Tigers are solitary animals. Stripe patterns of tigers are identical within the same subspecies. Tigers are known to be strong swimmers. You have to tell me which one is the correct answer in the comment section. Also, you have to tell me what is their IUCN status. If somebody tells me that, they will be given extra applause. Okay. So thank you so much everyone for staying connected till the very end, and make sure that you answer the question correctly. Bye-bye. Take care.